today's on-highway vehicles with an IC engine in them will lose about 5 to 10% in fuel economy during the winter months versus the summer months. Well, with electrified vehicles, that changes somewhat because when you heat the cab with the battery, you're going to use up more power. The IC engine uses the waste heat from the engine to keep the cab warm. The other thing is when it's really cold outside, the batteries have to be warmed as well because the batteries need to operate in a fairly narrow temperature range. So the extra heat associated with keeping the cab warm and the batteries warm uses up more energy than what you do in an IC engine vehicle.
We also need to electrify a source of heat since you no longer have a hot engine. So that's what you find underneath the hood in addition to an electric motor and a single-speed transmission.
So it's probably more typical to see 15% or so, maybe even more, decrease in the amount of range that an electrified vehicle can go during the winter months.
I was very apprehensive that the battery would work well within the winter environments of the upper Midwest. You know, temperatures that can read ambient of 20, 30 below zero. And the batteries held very well. I don't remember at a time that it was under 70% charged.
The efficiencies will change slightly because you'll run a heater more than the air conditioning will, but aside from that, yes, the chemistry and the batteries are affected by the cold, but we haven't seen any evidence that it's going to impact their operation.
These trucks will operate in harsh conditions. It snows, it gets cold. They've got to be able to perform well and get our customers' freight picked up and delivered. I'm confident that we've made a good choice here. We're really excited to get the trucks out to work.
We really do welcome these kinds of demonstrations and really are happy that they're coming to the Northeast and being demoed in the Northeast because weather-wise, there's not always going to be the environmental sweet spot for an EV here. Very cold winters, very hot summers.
There are situations where temperatures are hot enough that the battery system actually needs to be cooled. And those cooling systems may come in a bunch of different forms, but ultimately when it's really, really hot outside, or when the vehicle is being fast charged, that is charged in a really, really quick manner, the amount of heat generated in the battery system is high enough that you have to cool the batteries, as well as keeping the cab cool. In those cases, that takes extra energy as well. So when you take all these conditions into account, high temperatures, low temperatures, the amount of heating necessary, it's clear that people that are specifying the battery electric vehicle make sure they have enough excess capacity in their battery system to get to the mileage that they want on a daily basis.